It was the rice pilaf. Who could ever accuse such a savory side dish of doing anything wrong? Well, I'll tell you. In 2002, my young family drove from Georgia up to Nebraska to visit my mother. We spent a whole week with her, and at 8 o'clock in the morning, when we're trying to drive back to Georgia for the 16-hour ride with a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old, my mother is nowhere to be found. I go into the house, and I find my mother fervently packing. Now, you have to understand, my mom is about a 4'8", feisty Filipino lady. You don't tell her no. Mom, what are you doing? Oh, Michelle, please don't leave me. I can't miss my babies. I need to go with you. I need to go with my babies. We're on a time schedule. My husband looks at me and says, oh, come on, Michelle, let's just wait for your mom. Okay. 4 hours later, Mom is finally packed, and we're getting into the car. We drive from Omaha, and as we hit the outskirts of Kansas City, our 5-year-old says, Mommy, I'm hungry. And the other one says, I want to go potty. And we're in the middle of nowhere. My husband says, hey, doesn't your friend from high school, Scott, doesn't he live out in Kansas City? Yeah. Scott lives in Kansas City, but he's an emergency room nurse. He doesn't have time for this. No, I don't want to call him. Michelle, husband again, everything happens for a reason. We're here, call him. Okay. Hey, Scott, it's Michelle. Oh, he actually answered the phone. Oh, hi, Scott. My family and I are driving outside of Kansas City. I don't want to bother you, but I was wondering if you wanted to eat dinner with us. Oh, Michelle, I would love for you to all come out. Oh, I can't wait for you to meet my fiancé, Kelly. Guess we're going to dinner. I look back to look at my mom to say, hey, Mom, we're stopping for dinner. And my mother's doing exactly what my mother does perfectly on long trips. She's sound asleep. I guess she'll figure out we're going to dinner in a minute. So we get out, we get to the parking garage, and say, hey, Mom, time to wake up. We're going to dinner. She gets out of the car, and she's like achy and hurting and shaking. She says, Michelle, it's a really long drive. It's been 4 hours. It's a really long drive. Look, I'm shaking. I'm so tired. Like, okay, Mom, we'll just get dinner in you, and you'll be fine. So we go up to the restaurant we're meeting Scott and Kelly at. And there is a line wrapped around the building. Oh, boy. My husband takes off to go find out how long the wait's going to be. And I'm standing there with my mom and my 2 babies. Have you ever had that feeling when someone's staring at you from far away? I feel it, and I look over, and there is an incredibly happy man running towards me through the crowd, and it's Scott. And he comes and he hugs, and we say our hellos, and he says hellos to the babies. And he says, oh, and I want you to meet my fiancée, Kelly. And he turns, and behind him is an incredibly large man. And my mom leans over, and she nudges me, and she says, Kelly's a boy's name, too. At that moment, my husband comes back, and he says, that's a 3-hour wait. And my mother says, no, I'm not going to make it 3 hours. We have got to eat. And I'm like, Kelly, Scott, thank you for meeting us, but we've got to go. We've got 16 hours. And my husband says, oh, Michelle, we're here. Let's just have a decent meal out of the car. Okay. So we all trud to the next restaurant. And when we get there, again, it's Kansas City on a Friday night. The line is wrapped around the building. I'm like, that's it. We're done. We're leaving. We're going to hit the drive-thru. We'll be fine. My husband says, I want to get out of the car and eat. My mom says, I can't make it. I have to eat. And my husband says, well, I'll go check and see what the wait is. I'll get our name on there. And Kelly says, no, I've got this. Kelly goes up to the maitre d', and the maitre d' doesn't even look up and says, 3-hour wait. Kelly says, "Nevertheless, I would like a table for 8. Kelly Marzette. The maitre d' stops, looks up, and says, The Kelly Marzette?" And Kelly says, "Well, of course, the one and only." "Kelly, we have a table just for you." And they carry us all into the restaurant. And we get set at this huge round table right in the middle of the restaurant. And apparently what we find out is Kelly is a super famous drag queen in Kansas City. So our 3-hour wait went to 2 seconds like that. It was awesome. So we're all sitting there and we're all ordering. And order. And I noticed that the waitress hasn't gotten to me yet. I look over and she's arguing with my mother. Now, here's something you need to know about little Filipino ladies. When they don't have an accent, they suddenly conveniently get a very strong one when they want to be irritating. That's what my mom was doing. "No, I do not want rice pilaf, no!" Now, here's the other thing you need to know. To an Oriental, if it's not steamed or fried, it's an abomination. "No, I do not want steamed rice." "Mom, just take it." "I don't want it." "Mom, I have steamed rice on my plate. You can take mine. Just get the rice pilaf or she's gonna spit in our food." "I'll take the rice pilaf." Mom was not happy. So we all eat, everything's fine. And then I realize my mom is playing with her food. She's pushing it around. I look over and I say, "Mom, are you okay?" And she says, "I don't feel so good. I think it's the rice pilaf. I'm gonna go to the restroom." "Okay, Mom, go to the restroom. I'll take care of this. Just get me some spritzer water or something. I don't feel so good." "Okay." So we all order our dessert. My mom goes to the restroom, and I'm realizing that I'm taking my second bite of my cheesecake when my mom is not at the table yet. Something is seriously wrong here. "Where's my mom?" Husband says, "She's still in the restroom." Oh my God. You ever get that feeling that something is seriously wrong in the pit of your stomach, that hole? That's what I had. Something was wrong. I get up and I rush over to the restroom and I'm like, oh my God. And I open the door and laying on the chase lounge is my mother, asleep. Mom? I realize something is wrong with her. Every muscle in her face, her body was lax. Something was wrong. Mom, are you okay? Mom, she's not breathing. I've got to get help. And I turn. And when I turn, I hear, "Please don't leave me, I'm scared." "Mom, I have to get help, something's wrong." This time I'm looking at my mother and I hear from behind me, "Please don't leave me, I'm scared." "I'm so sorry, Mom, I've got to go. I've got to get you help." I burst out the restroom doors, and as I'm coming out of the door, Scott is already looking at me and running towards me. "Scott, please help me. Something's wrong. My mom's not breathing. Please help me. Please." He picks up my mom, he's like 6'2", and he puts her on the ground and starts doing whatever ER nurses do. And from the ground, he says, "Michelle, I'm so sorry. There's nothing there." Oh, dear God. Someone's got to help me. Yeah, we have to call 911. As soon as I said that last one, the paramedics came busting through the room. They're in the restroom, and they're all over my mom. And from the ground, I hear, they revived her. The paramedic comes up to me and he puts his arm around me and he says, "Young lady, are you her daughter?" "Yes, sir, I am." "You need to tell her whatever you need to tell her while you still can. Do you understand what I'm saying? We don't know how long she's been without oxygen." Yes, I understand." I go down to my mom. I said, "Mom, I love you. I am so sorry. Please, I won't leave you. I won't be, just don't be scared. I won't leave you." And from underneath her oxygen mask, she says, "Michelle, I'm so sorry. I love you. Please tell my babies I'm sorry." They pop up the gurney and they wheel her out into the restaurant as they're trying to go out the doors. And in the middle of the restaurant, oh, by the way, we were at P.F. Chang's. In the middle of the restaurant, perfect English, I hear, "It was the rice pilaf!" Cling, 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 cling. Every fork in that room dropped. So I'm right behind my mom and her on her gurney, and right behind me is the manager. And he's screaming, "It is not the rice pilaf. It is not the rice pilaf. She had a heart attack. It is not the rice pilaf. Please enjoy your food." All along I'm hearing, "Rice pilaf, rice pilaf." Boom, she's out the doors. I get outside and they've already put her into the ambulance. And I'm watching her heartbeat barely show life. And they're about to shut the doors. "Oh, please let me in." "I'm sorry, ma'am, that's not policy." Please let me in. I'm not from Kansas City. If you take my mommy, I'll never find her. I promised her I'd stay with her. Please let me stay. Take me." Now the same paramedic that put his arm around me earlier put his arm around me again. And he says, "Young lady, we're going right there." Attached to the restaurant we were at is the largest hospital. We don't know how, I don't know how I didn't see it, but it's attached to the restaurant. So they take my mommy, go around the corner, and I run to the emergency room around the corner. And when I get there, they've got my mom hooked up to all these machines beeping and blah, tubes. Very frightening sight. The doctor comes out and he says, "Young lady, are you the daughter?" "Yes, sir, I am." "I need to know her medication. I need to know if this has ever happened before. I need her history." I don't know it. I don't know her history. I don't know if there's any medication on her. I don't know any of this thing. Save my mom. Why are you talking to me? Save my mom. Beep, beep, beep. Still barely a heartbeat. Save my mommy. He puts his arm around me and he says, "I don't know if you believe in miracles or angels, but your mother has a purpose in this world. Because if she wasn't where she was, when she was, she'd be dead right now, and I would not have this conversation with you." Then he walked away. I stood in that hallway by myself, watching them work on my mother and thinking of all those coincidences, all those times I wanted to fight what was happening. I didn't want to stay and wait for my mom. I didn't want to call my emergency room nurse friend from high school to have dinner. He happened to have a drag queen bride-to-be that was able to get us into a restaurant. We would have been in our car and she would have died in the back seat. So I don't know if you believe in miracles or God or karma, bad luck, good luck, but I believe in a series of coincidences that led to miracles, and my mother is one of them. But to this day, if you asked her right now, what happened that day? It was the rice pilaf.